Hello. That's YMCA. This isn't a check-in video, it's just that these clouds looked really pretty. And I miss the pointlessness of YouTube right now. I guess I don't have to follow rules. I made up a rule in my mind that oh, I did the last check-in video at exactly 7 days, which was a Sunday, so I better do the next one exactly 7 days later on a Sunday. And it's like, why do I make up rules? I'm kind of tired of all the shoulds in my brain. So yeah, maybe I won't check in every week for this challenge. That's a lot to commit to for 14 months for no reason. No reason to do the challenge, no reason to do the check-ins the way that it just popped in my brain one random day. There's just no reason to have as many rules as I have for something that's unpaid. I guess what I'm trying to say with my life is if you want to pay me, hey look, here's my work ethic. I don't know. I think that's a little bit what I'm trying to say. I think that getting older and having been successful when I was so young, which mainly I guess I'm just referring to the movie, We're the World Mine, and that's more luck maybe than success, because I was a music director for a show that one of the producers and writers was directing, and so that's how he found out about me. He knew I was at the grad program for musical theater writing, and I just gave him a demo and then he picked me. So it's like, that's how I got to do the movie We're the World Mine, and I did the least amount of work. I just got to be very inspired and show up and make those melodies and work with people, but my role was very chill and relaxed compared to those who were like making a multi-million-dollar movie. So maybe that's luck. Maybe that's just the feeling of youth. Maybe I had a great expectation when I was young that I would be something really big. That's actually true. I was just watching an old video of mine from like 12 years ago. Maybe I shouldn't talk about that. I normally don't, but I did find that. And, I kind of forget that I had an old YouTube channel because I was kind of talked out of it a little bit. I've talked about that. The people who gave me kind-hearted advice didn't know that on YouTube putting your best foot forward maybe wasn't the way. And so back then I would get hundreds of views on every video. And they were just scrappy homemade music videos. But YouTube was new and I was very into it, like right off the bat. But whatever. I mean, within the first year or two. But then I didn't continue with that because of advice I got. Bad advice. No offense, but yeah. A lot of people, especially over 10 years ago, kind of operated in this music world, music business, everything, with a lot of fear. Like, don't share a song unless you release it on the Library of Congress. Don't blah, blah, blah unless you're registered on ASCAP. But, I've done all that work and none of it's really been relative to anything. It's not really related to, at my level, that doesn't really mean anything. Unless a bunch of people were, covering my songs or, playing me at every bar or restaurant. I just don't think it's very relevant. So if people have a lot of fear-based advice for you, I recommend you just kind of let it go unless it really feels true or unless they're, somebody who holds power for you. As in not emotional power, because that's what I gave into, but, holds actual power for you. It wants you on their label or something. So yeah, just doing a lot of work these days. So, I'm glad to do these cover songs because I have been wanting to book more paying gigs, and I want to teach at a college someday. These are two very real goals of mine, and it's hard to want to book more let me say this differently. Of course I want to be paid. Who wouldn't? Because I want to feel like people think I have value. But the thing is, I guess that's just not what the music industry is right now. Some people express... I wonder sometimes, okay, I've never thought this thought before, but maybe it's that for people at my level, it's more like music just feels like an extension of themselves, and so people love to support me in likes or comments. There's a lot of seagulls right there. They kind of all just came flying through the air and surrounded my car. I don't really know why. I didn't finish my last video, but it's okay. I don't even know what I was saying. Kind of in the middle of some heavy reflection. Taking a nature drive. There's fall leaves on all the trees. All on the way to Holland. Okay, I'm gonna get back to that. Heavy reflection. It is 2019, November 16th. Ooh, there's a rainbow in the sky. Probably can't see it. I'll try to catch it. Bye. Guess I have to zoom in as it'll go. Yeah, looks like a rainbow. It is a rainbow. It's just on that one little cloud though.
Hey, we're right to it. Mom came down. There. Look. Is here?
I've gotten very used to being in public and having these types of experiences, but I feel like I'm having a sort of karmic spiritual experience right now. It's a really nice sunset. Lots of people coming out for it. It's a warm night. I'm sure there being snow on the ground. I should probably stop walking. It's making the video so shaky. I want to get closer because that's what really matters to me. The sun's about to slip behind the horizon, and before that happens, I kind of want to do something personal, symbolic. I had to make a really big decision today about something that I kind of feel like nobody would understand, so there's no point explaining it. Sometimes I try to explain the weird spiritual thoughts I have to Brian or Stephanie, my two closest confidants. But even when I do to them, sometimes I just feel like I sound crazy, so I've learned to just kind of not really share them.
Okay, so what's the plan, boys? You're walking somewhere?
I feel like I'm ruining this beautiful moment with my talking, but then again, if you want to have one of these beautiful moments yourself, I recommend going to a beach in West Michigan or anywhere where there's sunsets. Don't try to get it from my scrappy videos. I don't know. That's my random tip for the day. It's weird that to be this warm out and have there be snow. My backpack's falling down. I feel like I'm about to drop this. Alright, I don't have a whole lot of time left before the sun slips down, and this thing I want to do is more important to me than this video, so maybe I should focus on that. At the same time, it's helping me kind of have the moment feel a little less melodramatic, ironically enough. You would think filming something would make the moment more melodramatic, but the way I'm wired, for some odd reason, when I film things I get to detach a little bit from them. I think that's why sometimes I go in beautiful places and make videos, because I just think I'm such a serious person. And there's something about making a video that makes me feel a little less serious, a little bit more tender, simple. Okay, I gotta get to the water. It's slipping down. That's right, I believe in my weird spiritual epiphanies enough to believe that I have to run. Well, maybe it's still up in Wisconsin. That's what I'll think about. Missed it, and that's okay. Still looks like a sunset. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Didn't even see it win. Whatever. It's just a symbol. Alright. I've given something back to the water. Goodbye, thing. The only lesson that I will say that I've learned from this thing that I'm being very cryptic about and not sharing is that we cannot be all things to all people. We cannot help all people. We cannot be there for all people. We cannot work with all people. We cannot connect with all people. We cannot become two conflicting things. Because the mixture of the two conflicting things is not the same as being the two conflicting things. You just... Sorry. But I'd acknowledge the elephant in the room. Hello. Can't be everything. So if there's someone or something, a situation that needs you, whether it's sensed or they straight up tell you, if you feel like you are needed elsewhere, or that you want to be elsewhere, which is the hardest one that I've experienced, is just feeling like someone expresses a need, but I really want to be in a different scenario. You don't have to do that thing that someone else expressed that they want. I know this is like so obvious to capable people who are successful in the world. They just say no. Done. But maybe I grew up around a lot of people who were like that, who just said no, and then somehow I felt like I filled in the gaps and picked up the slack. I don't know. I'm just very used to saying yes to need. Which is probably why I isolate myself so much, because if I'm around people and they express a need, then I say yes. It's very hard for me not to, without giving a litany of excuses. And I got tired of giving so many excuses, so then I learned to just isolate myself, and that was a way to never be asked anything, ever. Not true. I'm still asked some things, but just by a few close people. And so that is much safer for me. So that is my new life lesson. Every little acorn that you pick up that expresses a need or an interest or a want, you not only don't have to do it, by choosing to do it, you are choosing to not do other things. Like there were other things that would have found you, or that you would have found, that you now don't get to do because you chose to do the thing for that person who expressed that need or that want. And you filled your time and your hearts with that, and then there wasn't room for the other thing. And I've read a lot of hippie books on love and how we can love infinitely. You know, money may be finite, but love isn't. You can give it all away and blah, 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 but it's like they don't acknowledge time. Time is finite. You do have a limited amount of time here. And resources are finite until you get more resources. But your instincts are there for a reason. I believe my insides are like a compass. And if I don't listen to them, then what compass do I have other than other people's wants? So I'm in a new chapter in my life where I can't use other people as my barometer anymore. And it's sad because I live in a world where we're supposed to be using likes and loves and shares and follows and all that garbage online as our barometer for whether or not we're doing well. And I fall into it. And right now, releasing a song every day means I fall into it all the time. I slip back into like feeling futile. Not F-E-U-D-A-L, but F-U-T-I-L-E. Futile. Futile. I'm gonna go on my face now. I'm gonna flip it around. Okay, that is a lot of rambling. My hand is getting really cold. So, that is how I feel. And I think that everybody should learn this lesson. But if they don't, that's not on me. And if I don't really learn it, and I mess it up again and again and again for the rest of my life, then that's, you know, like a gutter in a bowling alley, you know. Those grooves have been there a long time and things fall in them. So I'm not going to feel bad about that. I'll just get back out of the gutter and go down the lane. And I don't mean to call other people gutters. They're not. And I don't even mean that people should feel bad for asking you things. Like if they want something from you and you say no, there was nothing wrong with them for asking. Like they had every right to ask. And in fact, asking helps you clarify and helps them clarify who they are and where they should be. So you almost have to say no if that's what you feel in your heart, because it teaches them that they're barking up the wrong trees or pursuing the wrong paths, you know. And if you don't say no when you mean no, if you say yes when you mean no because you feel bad for them, you waste years of their lives. It's true in relationships, professional situations, friendships. Like, if you feel like a boundary of yours is not being respected, or just like if you feel things about your heart or a dynamic in a relationship are not being respected and you feel violated, like, or just like not treated with dignity, like, be honest about that. I don't know. I mean, you don't have to be, but it makes more sense because then it teaches the person about their own behavior and the results it's producing. If you cover up the truth of your experience to somebody, then they don't know that their behavior is producing those results in you because you're covering it up to keep the peace, which means they're not growing, and neither are you. So when you respond authentically about how something makes you feel, then they have a choice to either change their behavior or let you walk away, and they can, I don't know, they can feel what they feel about that. I don't know. These are just random thoughts, but that's what that little acorn, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to talk about that. That was personal. But I hope you have a lovely day. That's my check-in for 2 weeks into this challenge. These cover songs are definitely for myself. I mean, it's really hard to do this because it's so much work. But I've always wanted to be able to show people quickly that I can play all these songs, you know, to book gigs or just to feel like I documented some of my skill sets. I'm going to play some classical ones too. I don't know. Whatever I can get up in the next 420-ish days. That's about it. All right. Have a good day. Bye. Or night.